Philly, speaking of Philly, heads into Dallas to face a Cowboys team that is starting Cooper Rush in place of Dak Prescott. Here's Philly defensive coordinator Vic Fangio on facing Cooper.
I don't think it will change a whole lot. You know, Rush has been there a long time. He knows the offense as well as anybody there does, and he'll operate it efficiently.
Don't,
What?
Greg.
What?
Don't fall for it. Don't
Greg
fall
called
for
it.
it.
He called it.
I'm just saying, don't fall for it. Go ahead.
Look, man, Vic Fangio is correct. Hold on. In my notes, I got they're probably going to have a better time, easier time keeping him in the pocket because he's a better scrambler than Dak, or maybe he's worse of a scrambler than Dak, or maybe they're about the same. They probably are going to have to make sure they bring some guys up in the secondary because, you know, he can throw just as good as Dak, or maybe he can't throw just as good as Dak. They're probably just the same. Like, Brew, it is okay. Like, when you have a guy like Cooper Rush, it's credit to him because what Vic Fangio is saying is, like, he's going to prepare like a pro. He understands their offense, how to run it. Stylistically, what is different? What is different? I'm not at all saying that he is a better quarterback long term than Dak Prescott. Right now, what Dak Prescott has provided this team, or maybe I should say what he has not provided this team, makes Cooper Rush look just as good. Like, when you are preparing, tell me one thing the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to adjust if Dak Prescott was playing in this game defensively.
Yes, the reason you have backups is because they come in and can run a similar offense to your starter. That might be a big point.
That's the hope.
They won't do it as well, but you want to stylistically Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson. He can play kind of like Lamar, but he's obviously not as good, not on the same level. That's all I'm saying. Look, Vic Fangio has been a head coach in this league.
Yes.
Vic Fangio has been in this league, Wilds, for decades.
Yeah.
He's been around the block. Okay. He knows a press conference. He knows his way around a microphone. And what he's saying is, I'm not giving the Cowboys bulletin board material. I'm going to talk up Cooper Rush like he's the cat's meow. All right? Even though I know he is nothing compared to Dak Prescott on his worst day. Now, Cooper Rush, like your typical backup, has about 4 good games in him a year. And we saw it 2 years ago, right? 4 games. Some people were even thinking, leave Cooper in. Leave Cooper in. He had what?
You
4
were-
games?
you were-
No,
Yeah, you said there's rumblings. They're not me, but it's rumblings.
No, I was not. He had, in 4 games they won, he had like 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I did not say keep him in.
You said you
no
were
way.
hearing quarterback controversy rumblings. We all were there for it.
There's no
We
way
all
I'm
were
putting it
there.
with Dak Prescott.
Someone call Rob
what
Parker and
happened,
get
Nick,
the odd
you know
couple
what happened in
transcripts.
Game 5. He threw 3 interceptions. We see it all the time. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jacoby Brissett. The backups have a good month in them. And then they turn into a pumpkin, and that's what will happen with Cooper Rush.
Right. Can I don't want to, I don't want to, I'm not going to break the tie between Greg and Brew. I think it's very clear that Greg had an opinion a couple days ago, and now it's being shared by a guy who Brew holds in such high regard, he thought he was going to single-handedly fix the Eagles.
Well,
so I think Greg has clearly won the argument. So I think that's true. I am now going to, for 20 seconds, fill my, the role I didn't ask for as the Trey Lance guy, where I will say,
we can go to break.
you know who he wouldn't be saying this about? Trey Lance. If they were starting Trey Lance, Vic Fangio would not be out here saying, doesn't change a whole lot. He'd be like, oh man, totally different thing we got to play it for. Quarterback.
Philadelphia Eagles would love to play Trey Lance. Get out of here. Trey Lance isn't good. What are we talking about? Oh my God. I don't even know what to say to that. Just stop. Listen, I agree with both people, right? I agree. I agree with everyone but Nick here, okay? I agree with what Greg is saying and what Brew is saying. Whereas not much is going to change for the Philadelphia Eagles and that offense, right? They have their plan of attack. They're going to do what they're going to do defensively. And also, what Brew is saying, it's not bulletin board material. It's more so, I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking. I'm not going to let you know what's going on. Like, I'm not going to tell you, oh, yeah, we know that Cooper Rush is actually not as good versus the blitz than Dak, so we're going to blitz him more. That's what we're going to do. We're going to change up our game. But we know that he's really good at the with the long ball, but actually surprisingly is really bad with like 10-yard passes, 5-yard passes. So we're just going to give him the short underneath stuff and deal with like what do you want Fangio to say? Like, I don't even understand. Like, so I of course Fangio handled that perfectly because he is a seasoned veteran coach and has been around the block once or twice or 10,000 times. So he understands it. But also, right, what has Dak Prescott done this year? He has not been a good quarterback this year. I'm not saying that he's not a good quarterback, but he has not been good. He has not been accurate. I mean, we saw the Cowboys go up against the Falcons, where both quarterbacks played against the same team in the same game. They had nearly identical stats. Like John Middlecoff said that in his podcast with Colin Cowherd. He said it's kind of crazy. You pay Dak $240 million. He leaves the game. You put in the backup. And it looked exactly the same. And it's true. I mean, it's true. And Cooper Rush did look pretty good those years, a few years ago, whenever exactly it was. When he went on his little win streak. What was he went? He went like 4-1 or something. He had one really bad game. But the rest of the games, he was good. It was like 4 touchdowns to 1 interception ratio. I think it was like 4-1, 6-1, whatever it is. 95 passer rating. Like, it was pretty decent. Was it earth-shattering? Was it like, hey, I'm a starting quarterback now? Put me in the Hall of Fame. I'm a Pro Bowler? Like, no. It's not that either. But has Dak been a prolific Pro Bowler, quarterback this year? No. And if you want to blame coaching, roster, whatever, I don't care. It doesn't matter. He doesn't look that good right now. He is not playing good football this season. So you're going to expect the backup quarterback to look even better. You're going to expect that Trey Lance is going to inject some energy into that lineup? No. Philadelphia Eagles, this should be, I know they don't need to get right, although they kind of do in terms of making that game a little too close for comfort versus the Jags. This should be a game that the Philadelphia Eagles win convincingly. They make that offense look completely uncomfortable. The Eagles' offense should roll. Saquon should roll, right? AJ, if he's playing, should roll. Hurts, roll. Devontae, roll. Like, this should not be a difficult game. If it is, again, the caveat is that it is a divisional game, right? Cowboys versus Eagles. They're always competitive. But the Cowboys are not competitive this season with the backup quarterback, so there really should not be that. It shouldn't take too much for the Eagles to beat the Cowboys, right? They shouldn't need Jalen Hurts to fight for a third down, diving head first. They shouldn't need to have Saquon Barkley get 30 carries and put all that wear and tear on his body. They shouldn't need a huge 60-yard pass to AJ or a one-handed catch to Devontae. They shouldn't need all that. It should be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Should be pretty boring, quite frankly. That's what it should be. Will it be? That's why we watch, man. That's why we watch. But that's what it should be. If the Philadelphia Eagles have finally truly turned this leaf over, last year is completely irrelevant officially. And it's a new era in Philly, right? And that they're a legitimate top team in the NFL, a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Then you eat this team for breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, snack, and anything else in between. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the big time rush? Let me know in the comments below how you think this game's going to go. Do you think the Cowboys need to do anything? Do you think the Eagles should be concerned about anything? Do you think Trey Lance will get into this game, maybe in the second half? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.